Yo, what up, though? This is your boy, Chris B. Daniels, and you are now on Show and Talk. Welcome, everybody. So, I was going to do the video tomorrow because we had a power outage out here earlier, but apparently it came back on, so I got enough time to do it. So, tonight's movie is a special one for me. It's a movie I grew up with, it's one of my favorite films, and they actually got two modern day films or recent films of it. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, I think the original one is the best. Many of y'all might disagree, but hey, I don't care. But anyway, so the movie for tonight is Jumanji. So this movie right here is actually a fun film. You know what I mean? Like the first time I seen this was in theaters. I was about 8, maybe going on 8. You know what I'm saying? This movie is actually based on a book that came out April 1981, I believe, by Chris Van Osberg. But the book and the movie are almost different, like completely different. See, in the book, there is no Alan Parrish. You know what I'm saying? Robin Williams' character. It's just the children. You know what I mean? And they find a game in a park instead of Alan finding it at a construction site. Back in 1969. But yeah, man, there's many differences, and the book is way shorter. So, I mean, it's a picture book, so it's one of my favorite books too. But anyway, moving on to the movie itself. So, the movie starts off in 1869, where you got two boys burying the game. I guess they experienced it already. So, you know what I mean? I guess, the way they make the intro look, the game must be a serious thing. So, that scene didn't really last too long. You know what I mean? So after they buried it, I guess they went away. Years later, they died. Anyway, 100 years later, 1969, we got Alan, right? Alan Parrish as a boy. Again, Robin Williams' character. You know what I mean? He befriends this girl. What's her name? What her name is, but he befriends her, you know what I'm saying? So the boyfriend of the girl doesn't like the fact that they're hanging out or whatever. So, they're basically chasing him on bikes. And then they chase him all the way to his dad's shoe factory. So he gets off his bike and runs into the shoe factory. You know what I mean? Well, you got David Allen Greer in there. Still looks the same with afro. You know what I mean? I wasn't buying the fact that they was trying to make him look young. You know what I mean? But yo, I like him too as a actor in that movie. He was pretty good. But basically, what happens is he has this new shoe, so he wants to introduce it to the town. But what happens is Alan, you know what I mean? He looks out the window and I don't know, they just kicking around his bike or whatever. So his dad shows up and he talks to him, needing a ride, wanting to ride home or whatever. So his dad was basically telling this man, yo, you need to face 4 or 5 bullies by yourself. And I'm like, yo, that was me. I'm like, seriously? Seriously? You really gonna make me go out there and try to fight all of them like that? Seriously? Word. All right. So I guess his dad didn't know that it was a bunch of them picking on him. You know what I'm saying? I guess he thought it was that one boy. But anyway, what happens is after he gets ready to leave the factory, he puts the shoe on the conveyor belt. I guess he didn't realize that either. So after they hear the tearing and whatever, like the machine is tearing the shoe, and his dad pulls the shoe out the machine. Wonder, okay, who did it? You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't know, what happened or whatever. So instead of Alan getting into further trouble, um, David Allen Greer's character takes the blame. So what happens is he leaves after that. You know what I mean? And okay, so he's walking through this construction site, right? A bunch of construction workers. Somebody had to see it. You know what I mean? Like he's walking through a construction site, like as they're working, and nobody said nothing to him. So you know what I mean? He hears this sound like do 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 do. You know what I mean? And apparently only kids can hear that. So because none of the other construction workers reacted to the sound. So you know what I mean? The sound was coming from like this dirt wall or whatever. So, you know what I mean? He's digging it out. Come to find out, it's a chest. and he opens it and he finds the game. So he takes the game home, he sets it up, but his parents walk in, and then there's a scene in this movie too, but I thought that it really didn't make any sense. So his dad is proud of him for standing up to the bullies, but instead of giving him, some kind of reward or something like that, he wants to send him to a boarding school. I'm like, man, what? You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't think so. Screw you, Dad. I ain't going to no boarding school. I just got my tail whooped by like 4 or 5 kids, and then you want to send me to a boarding school on top of that? I don't think so. But yeah, I guess that's his reward for the punishment he took. You know what I mean? So basically, an argument breaks out between him and his father. So the father storms out, and next thing you know, he wants to run away. He packs some peanut butter, some bread, and I guess a few articles of clothing. So when he's about to walk out the door, you know what I mean, his friend Sarah stops by. So instead of leaving, he decides to go ahead and show her the game or whatever, because she heard the sound just like he did. So when they set up, he accidentally like dropped the pieces into the starting point, and I guess the game, was self aware or whatever, or possessed or something. So first, I guess who goes first? I think Sarah goes first, if I'm not mistaken. And she hears bats in the fireplace. So next is Alan's turn. You know what I mean? He rolls a 5. You know what I mean? In the jungle, you must wait till the dice reads 5 or 8. And next thing you know, his ass is getting sucked into the board game. Like, yo, it's crazy, man. Like, and I think the special effects holds up too. You know what I mean? Like, they're very impressive for the time. Mind you, this movie came out in 1995, and like I said, I remember going to see this in theaters. So after that, next thing you know, a bunch of bats come out of nowhere from the fireplace, chase Sarah out the house. And then after that, 26 years later, it's a new lady, I guess she rented the house or bought the house or whatever. You know what I mean? Walking in, checking it out. And then you got, little Kirsten Dunst in the movie, Mary Jane from Spider Man. And you got her little brother, I forgot what his name is, Bradley something. You know what I mean? But yeah. So the brother, you know what I mean, he's quiet because ever since their parents passed away, he was quiet. And then the sister, she's just a liar. You know what I mean? Like always lying about stuff. So when the realtor is showing them around the house or whatever, I guess they hear something in the attic. You know what I mean, like bats and all that. So not too long after that, the aunt, you know what I mean, which is caring for them, winds up cleaning up that entire house, which I thought was impressive by itself. You know what I mean? So she wanted, for some reason, she wanted the boy to go into the basement. I mean, why I keep saying basement? Attic, to retrieve something. I forgot, but when he went up there, you know what I mean? I guess he saw one of the bats that chased Sarah out the house, early on. So she goes up there and investigates, which I don't understand why people keep doing that in movies. If that in movies, you know what I'm saying? If that was me, yo, I'm calling the exterminator right away. I ain't nah. If I hear something in the attic, I ain't going up there. You know what I mean? And no offense to my white folks, man, but black people just don't investigate. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, so the exterminator comes out there, and yo, he's a real butthole too, man, for telling the kids that Alan Parrish was chopped up by his dad, and he was like different body parts. His different limbs were buried, everywhere around the house or whatever. So the kids were freaked out by that. So come to find out at dinner, you know what I mean? The aunt, she already is not feeling Judy, you know what I'm saying? Because that's her name, Kirsten Dunst's character, because she's always lying. So she gets grounded. And then the next morning, the aunt gets ready for work, and they're supposed to be going to school. So, oh man, okay. So they start to hear that sound. They do. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I ain't gonna lie, it freaked me out a little bit because it's them African drum, not African drums, but the tribal drums or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, they start to hear that sound. So The aunt offers to drop them off at school, but they said nah. They decided to take the bus, but you already know they wasn't going to school anyway. Like that part was predictable. So once they heard that, what I'm saying, they go up to the attic and then they eventually find the game. So that's where it really all starts with them. So there's already two pieces on the board, which is Allen's and Sarah's pieces. You know what I'm saying? So they decide to go ahead and start playing. So their pieces drop on the board. Next thing you know, I think the first was the beads, if I'm not mistaken, which you don't really see those until they get to the outside scenes. And then when this let me see, I think it's the boys' turn to roll. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, they see monkeys in the kitchen, all in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and the special effects for that too was quite impressive. But as far as those go, you could tell they're of the times, but they were impressive at the time. You know what I mean? Because again, mind you, 1995. You know what I mean? So once they, see all that, and it's like, yo, I know they was freaked out. Like, I'd be screaming at the top of my head. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I got monkeys in my kitchen. Where the hell did they come from? You know what I mean? So they back upstairs, and I guess Judy's character. Judy, she understood that all this stuff would go away if they finished the game one time or whatever. So I guess it was the boy's turn again because he rolled double. So he rolled again. The next thing you know, they heard the piano keys. You know what I mean? You saw that tail, and then out of nowhere, it's a mechanical lion, y'all. You could tell it was animatronic at first. The next thing you know, when they zoomed out, it was CG, and I thought that was impressive too. The lion, you know what I'm saying? Um, so out of nowhere, this guy, what I'm saying, shows up, and he's got like, what I'm saying, leaves and stuff, like covering him or whatever. Like you could tell he came out the game as well. So at first they try to make it a mystery of who he is, but yo, if anybody has a half a brain, you already know who it is. You know what I'm saying? So he battles the lion, tricks the lion, you know what I'm saying, and running into the aunt's room, shuts the door and lock it. You know what I'm saying? So after that, for some reason he knew where they were. I guess because he could smell them. He was in the jungle for 27 years, so I just gave it away, y'all. Anyway, you know what I mean? He freaks them out by picking up the boy because he's happy as hell by getting out of the because he got out of the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here tongue tied tonight, y'all. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? He's happy because the boy got him up out of the game. So next thing you know, I guess he thinks it's still 1969. You know what I mean? So he goes to his dad's shoe factory, and it's no longer a shoe factory. It's a bum in there with his dog. You know what I'm saying? So he's a good guy. You know what I mean? Good heart. He gives him clothes because it's freezing outside. But he does explain to him that, when his dad lost his son, he just didn't care anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't care about the business. He didn't care because he spent all his resources trying to find his son. So on one hand, there was rumors going around saying that, the father chopped them up into little pieces and put it all over the house. And then next thing you know, his son was lost, and his dad just didn't care about nothing. All he wanted to do was find his son. So after the bum tells him where his parents are, it turns out that it was a cemetery, and both his parents passed away. So when they get back to the house, he winds up shaving, and lo and behold, it's Robin Williams. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite actors of all time. You know what I mean? One of my favorite movies of his is Mrs. Doubtfire. Funny. But after that, you know what I mean? It's like he knows what's going on. You know what I mean? After the kids explained what happened, he already knew. So it was nothing new to him. So basically, they wanted him to play the game as well, but at first he refuses. But the game couldn't continue unless he rolled. But then it turns out it wasn't even his turn. It was Sarah's turn. And for some reason, conveniently, the little girl, Sarah, actually stayed in the same house all those years. So basically, they go to the house to look for Sarah Whittle. Come to find out she's a psychic now. But you're a psychic, you know what I'm saying, talking to a therapist. Ain't that something? But yeah, she's a psychic. So that's lucky. That's luck. You know what I'm saying? The same person staying in the same house for 26 years. That's straight luck, y'all. But anyway, you know what I mean? They bring her over to the house and you know what I'm saying? They tricked her into coming basically. You know what I'm saying? So no, what happened was I'm sorry, y'all. It's been so long since I've seen this. So when she finds out, you know, who's at the door, which is Alan Parrish, and she thought, you know, his dad chopped them up into little pieces, she faints, you know what I'm saying? So they bring her over to the house, and then, you know what I'm saying, she's sitting there on the phone with her therapist or whatever, saying, yeah, I'm going crazy, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here with the little boy who I thought was chopped up, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure y'all know that because I'm pretty sure half the world has seen this movie. But after that, she's sitting there, and then she goes crazy when she sees the game. She is not trying to play, y'all. But I don't blame her. You know what I mean? But anyway, she has to. So it's her turn to roll. And next thing you know what I mean? What happens when she rolls? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I think it's the plants that come out when she rolls. I think it is. I'm not for certain. You know what I mean? But all I know is, oh, the little boy he almost got sucked in until you know Robin Williams grabbed that sword and sliced the plant's tongue or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Causing it to retreat back into the fireplace. So after that, it's Robin Williams. No, it's not Robin Williams' turn. It's I think Robin Williams rolled already. There's a couple parts that I forgot to talk about, but if you haven't seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I'm gonna skip ahead to Judy's turn. You know what I'm saying? So she rolls right, and next thing you know, because Robin Williams and Sarah, you know what I'm saying, Alan and Sarah are bickering back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Until they hear a vibration, like a really, really slight vibration. And that's what you call suspense, though. You know what I'm saying? So he walks up because they're in the library. He walks up to the bookshelf and he hears a very now the vibrator is getting louder and louder. You know what I'm saying? And heavier and heavier. And then next thing you know, he's telling everybody to run because it's a stampede. You know what I'm saying? So he grabs the game, he runs out, and yo, they made it out by luck, man. Because any of them animals could have turned in that room they ran into. They would have been screwed, but they didn't. You know what I mean? So here comes a pelican. He grabs the board game and flies away with it. But for some reason, Alan is blaming little boy. You know what I'm saying for not grabbing it. Yo, if you got a pelican standing right there, I'm not going to challenge that thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take my damn arm off. But yeah, so they make it to well, the phone rings because by that point the house is covered in plants, so it was like a jungle now. You know what I'm saying? So Judy answers the phone, and it's her aunt, and then she puts on some kind of accent. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah, like trying to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to you know, trying to be somebody else or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So she hangs the phone up and then runs away with the rest of them to the lake. So because you know pelicans, I guess they're near water. They love being around water. So 26 years in the jungle, man. You know what I mean? You'll have experience. So once they get there, they're trying to retrieve the board game, and you know Robert Williams grabs a fish and throws it to the pelican. The pelican knocks the board game into the water. This time, Peter really did get it. So once he gets it, you know what I'm saying, he gets back to the house. You know what I mean? Because it's his turn again. You know what I'm saying? No, they're walking. Let me see. I'm trying to get everything right, y'all. Because there is a scene where I missed where Robert Williams, like his turn to roll. But when he rolls, yo, it's like he has the worst look, man. Because this dude named Van Pelt, which is also played by the same actor who plays his father in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If y'all didn't know that. So this dude's really trying to blow his head off for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I guess because he rolled. So, yo, he's got a musket or something, yo. Like, yo, he didn't even care. Like, the cops was coming, you know what I'm saying? David Allen Greer, he's actually a cop now, you know what I'm saying? After 26 years from being fired from his job. So, he's telling the old boy to freeze, and he's shooting at him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care. So basically, I'm gonna skip back ahead to when they walking up the street, and then here comes David Allen Greer's character. You know what I mean? Stopping him in that raggedy police car. You know what I mean? Because by that point, yeah, that car was just toe up. So you know what I'm saying? They stop. He stops them. You know what I'm saying? Because he figures, okay, every time he sees this guy, it's always trouble. So, because at first, Judy and the boy, the kid, you know what I'm saying, the boy, they lied to him saying he was a part of, dang, what was it? Peace Corps, you know what I mean? And then tried to say it was their uncle, you know what I mean? So, come to find out, you know what I mean, he wasn't buying none of it, so he just arrested him or whatever. So, I guess what happens after that is the boy, he tried to cheat, you know what I mean? So, next thing you know, hair started growing on his arms. He started mutating basically into a monkey or whatever. So, what happens is after that, they take the game and they go to I think they go to let me see, a department store. You know what I'm saying? So Van Pelt, he really wants the game. And the only reason why he wants the game because that game, once the game is completed, him along with the rest of the creatures will be sucked back into it. So he takes the game from them. You know what I mean? And so when they're in the department store, you know what I mean? It's basically a big battle over, you know what I'm saying, who can keep the game. You know what I'm saying? So he, you know what I'm saying, takes the game, but then somehow they get it back. So Robert Williams finally, you know what I'm saying, his character finally confesses to David Allen Greer's character on who he is. Even though in real life, Robert Williams is older than David Allen Greer, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, he's a kid. I mean, he's a grown adult at 40 years old, 26 years later, which to me, that didn't really work. But, Robert Williams as a character in itself, yeah, it was a perfect fit for this movie. But, you know what I mean? So, come to find out, David Allen Greer finds out that, he's the boy. You know what I mean? All those years ago. And then, so instead of just taking him right, directly to jail, he decides to help him out. But Robin Williams tricks him into, letting him, do whatever. So he handcuffs him to the car. And then right when he was walking up the street, walking away, saying, I'll come back for you, blah, blah, blah. They hear a news report on the radio. So he stops in his tracks and turns around. And I guess they get in the car and winds up going to the department store to see what's going on. So, yo, when they get there, I'm trying to think what happens after that. I think Van Pelt was already incapacitated because he falls into a bunch of paint cans or whatever, and the whole damn shelf falls on him. So they get back to the house, and it's Robin Williams. Is it Robin Williams' turn? It's either his turn or Sarah's turn to roll. So one of them rolls, and then it causes a monsoon. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of rain and all that. So basically, from that point on, it was just a monsoon. Then there was a bunch of spiders, right, shooting poison darts or whatever they were shooting. And then next thing you know, it was like an earthquake. It causes a fissure, and that causes the house to crack in half. So after that, um, it's let me see, it was Robin Williams' turn again. Like he's stuck in the floor, but like everything is stuck. Like you know what I'm saying, his whole bottom half is stuck, so he can only roll the dice with his mouth. So next thing you know, it frees him, and then after that, you know what I mean. I forgot whose turn it was, but I'm just going to skip to the end of y'all. Spoiler alert: if you've never seen this movie, I'm going to give you a chance right now to leave this video, go see the movie, come back and watch it. All right, your time is up. So basically, Van Pelt finally catches him. And I don't know why he just didn't shoot him on the spot. Not that I'm saying his character deserved to die, nothing like that. But I'm just saying this dude was doing too much talking, man. And he could have had him right there. But because what happened was Robin Williams had one more role left. So he rolled the dice, and it was enough to make it to the end. So basically, he winds up, shooting him or shooting the gun. And right before the bullet touches him, old girl Sarah jumps in the way, but neither one of them got hit by the bullet. So come to find out, the bullet is disintegrated and everything is being sucked right back into the game. You know what I mean? And then after that, the part that got me the first time I seen this movie is when they're children again, because they end up back in 1969. So I guess the game gives you a second chance or something. So after that, what's his name? Alan. Oh yeah, and the little boy y'all kept talking about earlier, his name was Peter. I just thought about that, but Alan, you know what I'm saying? Like he's looking for Peter and Judy, but come to find out they're not born yet. It's 1969. So they wind up getting rid of the game, and I guess they become girlfriend and boyfriend after that. So 26 years later, again, it's a Christmas party, and this time Judy and Peter shows up with their parents. You know what I mean? Because their parents died in a skiing accident, I believe. So they wanted to go on a skiing trip. Because they was going to start working for a pair of shoes or whatever. What her dad was, but they, warned them not to. You know what I mean? So they made up some excuse by saying they need the paperwork pronto and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, Alan he got his family or his girls pregnant, and you know what I'm saying they got married and everything. And then your boy David Allen Greer's character never got fired from the shop. So basically, at the very end, the game is on some beach, and I'm assuming it's in Asia somewhere. So you know what I mean. And I guess they was hinting to a sequel, but it never happened. Now I would say this show did have a real life board game, and you can still find it in certain places like Walmart. And I seen it. I was about to pick it up, but I didn't. So yeah, you can find it there. And then they had a cartoon for this, I think, in 1996, but it didn't really do too well. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And then, like I said, they got the two movies that came out back in 2017 and 2019, if I believe. I could be wrong about the second one, but I think the first one came out in 2017 with The Rock. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that pretty much does it for this movie right here, man. So I really appreciate y'all for listening. And like I said, if you've never seen it, go check it out. Jumanji, it's a good movie. It's a fun movie for the family. It's rated PG, so yes, your kids can sit down and watch it with you. And I do recommend this movie. If I had to give it a grade, and I'm gonna start giving these movies grades, so this will be the first one. I will give this an 8 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and comment down below. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I will be back next week with another film. And next Saturday, don't forget, I have an interview with my brother Cameron Best, Robert Preston, and Q Nesbitt. You know what I mean? So join us for that. We will be talking about business and credit, credit lines and everything like that. So join us, be there, and or be square. You know what I'm saying? So we will be back. And my bad, guys. I don't know why I'm so tongue tied tonight, man. But yeah, we'll be back though. I appreciate y'all for listening. All right, I'm getting up out of here, y'all. Peace.